Okay, so today we are going to do Crass and Banned from the Roxy. So this song was requested after I've done a few other Crass reactions, and I'm always happy to get into this band because I just love the raw sound, and Steve Ignorance's voice is something I have not really heard before. So yeah, let's get into this and talk about it after. Drum intro is very nice. Guitar in there as well.
Back from the Roxy, okay, I never must apply there anyway. Said I only wanted well-behaved boys. Do they think guitars and microphones are just fucking toys? Fuck 'em, trying to make my stand against what I feel is wrong with this land. Just sit there on their other-fed asses, feeding off the sweat of less fortunate class. Did their fucking power, cause their fingers on the button. Got control, won't let it be forgotten. To the reality, the wrong ain't ever gone. Living ain't Belfast, that's no fucking fun. See you in the squaddy, lying in the front yard. See you in the machine gun, resting on the fence. Finding the entrance to your rap and doing pound. Got a fucking nerves, I'm calling defense. Seems their defense is up to swear the street. Protection for the privilege that they elite. Government protecting their province from the ball. Here, trying to fortune shining up the door. Find that the people might ask a little more. And the shit they get, 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 shit they get. Defense, shit, it's nothing less than war. And I'm about the government, knows what the fuck is for. Oh yes, I say it's defense, say it's decency. The lying Russian, know what I mean? Say fucking lies with impressive frequency. Say we had to do it, keep our lives clean. Who's alive? Who's fucking live? Who the fuck are they talking to? Who's alive? Who's fucking live? Tell you one thing, it ain't me and the system's Christ. Everywhere, school, love and church, corporation deal. Back to reality, based on fear. Fucking conspiracy, and stop you feeling real. Wrong under me, say they fucking wrong. I can't really live on that, but I've got me some. Man from the Roxy, okay, never must apply there anyway. Go!
Well, that was like 1,000 miles an hour there. Crass and Banned from the Roxy. Roxy, my goodness, my voice is going on me. But Steve Ignorance's voice again, his accent is just so thick. I know he's from the United Kingdom. I guess British, I guess you would say. Yeah, it's just his voice is always so. I haven't heard a punk artist sing like this. It's just I like it a lot, and just the way he says words, like the word he that stuck out to me was how he said button, where it says to keep their effing power because their fingers on the button. It's just I don't know, something like that, you know. Yeah, and my goodness, just looking here, I mean, how he starts the song off, Banned from the Roxy. Okay, I mean, it's like he's going to tell us a story, or tell us their story, I guess, about everything that's wrong with the world, basically. And I know that the band Crass, I know that they are kind of anarchists, at least here in the 70s. I don't know what their opinions are now. I haven't really looked up that stuff. But I feel, you know, when I'm thinking about this, a band that comes to mind is the Sex Pistols, obviously with Anarchy in the UK. And how they start that song off with "I am an antichrist, I am an anarchist." You know, nice play on words there. But what I feel with Crass is that they believe it. You know, they're more believable in anarchy as anarchy people, I guess, people who believe in anarchy more than the Pistols. Yeah, and that's just what comes to mind right now for me. And also, I know that with the Sex Pistols with Glenn Matlock, you know, he was basically their best musician in that band. But and I think he even said that he didn't like that the intro to that, the how, you know, anarchist. He's just like a dumb word, a dumb way of saying that word. But yeah, and so it just the Crass just gives me more feelings of anarchy. So yeah, and I love the Pistols, and yeah, I just wanted to say that. Anyway, so obviously the Roxy must be, I guess, some club, you know, where they play. So I see here on Genius.com, banned from the Roxy. Okay, I never much liked playing there anyway. So yeah, it's just basically saying like whatever, nothing's been lost. The band arrived drunk at the Roxy in London. They were thrown out. So all right, right to the point. So they only wanted well-behaved boys, and Crass doesn't seem like some well-behaved boys. Do you think guitars and microphones are just effing toys? To Crass, the methods of performing their music are weapons of the revolution. And yeah, I don't think Crass is just a band that's going to come on, like any pop band from today. Just come on, do their thing, say thanks, and then leave. And that really goes for any punk artist. Really, they really want to make the audience think, and I mean that goes for a lot. I mean I'm thinking of like today acts today. I mean we saw Green Day. I know Billy Joe Armstrong has had a couple of incidents because he swore at the crowd and all this kind of thing. And that just comes to mind because I know it was his birthday recently, and I saw things about him. So yeah, it's just this and their I guess pop punk whatever. So yeah, the bands are still out there, and it's just nice to see. Anyway, yeah, it says, "FM, I've chosen to make my stand against what I feel is wrong with this land." So it says, as anarchists, what's wrong with the land is basically everything. So yeah, basically, the band had a lot to go at here for their songs, and they really tried their best, I would think. And also, I was looking at their album, "The Feeding of the 5,000," which I think was their debut album, I want to say. But it's one of the earliest, I guess. It says it is the first album by Crass, and I mean they're called anarcho punk, so obviously very anarchist themes here. And also, I just want to, I guess, read about the album here. It says it was considered revolutionary in its time due to what was considered an extreme sound, frequently profane lyrical content, oh no, and the anarchist political ideals in the lyrics. The album was also the introduction of Crass's policy of ensuring cheap prices for the records. This album is considered one of the first punk albums to expound serious anarchist philosophies. So yeah, they really weren't messing around here with this album and their anarchist views. So it's just nice to see. I don't know. Just sit there on their overfed arse, feeding off the sweat of less fortunate classes. So basically, the organizers at the Roxy don't care what happens as long as they're getting paid. So yeah, while Crass is on the stage sweating their butts off, or any other young band out there trying to make it, the owners are just making their money. The record companies are making their money, while a lot of bands are just scraping by and just trying to get big. So yeah, it happens all the time. Still happens now, and obviously with punk, punk music wasn't. I mean, I wasn't there obviously, but it just seems that punk music, it was big at some points, obviously. But it wasn't rich bands. There was it wasn't an easy way to get rich basically. But nowadays, obviously, some punk stars are rich, and they should be. Anyway, it says they keep their effing power because their fingers on the button. Again, I just love how he says button here. The only way the establishment, in this case the government, keeps control is with the use of military intervention. So yeah, of course the government will do anything to keep things the way it is, the way they are, or whatever. So anyway, it goes on. They've got the effing nerve to call it defense. Seems their defense is just a threat of strength, protection for the privileged at any length. You like the lyricism here as well. Whenever the government acts violently, it tells the people that are doing it for their own good and defending them. However, it's easy to see this as a blatant lie, since these actions never really help people, and they only help the rich get richer. And I mean, what else is new with this? It does remind me of a George Carlin quote. He said in one stand-up thing, I probably said it before, but where he was talking about, I can't remember who he says causes it, but the middle and lower classes basically, they keep fighting with each other while the rich keep going to the bank. So it's a pretty simple plan, I think he said, and but it works very well, and it still works today. So anyway, we go on here. The government protecting their profits from the poor, the rich and fortunate chaining up the door. The ruling classes are greedy and are never willing to share their riches with the masses. Well, that's a surprise. afraid that the people may ask for a little more than the shit they got, the shit they get. And then he goes on and says it like 6 more times. It says, this capitalist system in which we live brainwashes us to accept our terrible life. However, the anarchy in which Crass preaches tries to make the listener question certain aspects of life. And, it's never bad to question your surroundings. I'm not saying, like, there's a lot of people questioning right now with the pandemic. It sucks with this pandemic. So many people are losing their jobs. So many people are losing their homes and, not being able to pay rent or mortgage and all this stuff. And, there's not a lot of help for some people from their governments. And I mean, at this point, I mean, yeah, it's, I think about Europe, and actually I was talking about this in a class for university here. But yeah, it's just, you think about universal minimum wage, just getting paid. I mean, everyone just getting paid, just, to live basically. And I mean, it might seem, especially for the rich, I mean, they'd say you're getting paid to do nothing. But I mean, at this point, you gotta really just think like outside the box here. I mean, help your people here. I mean, just especially in this pandemic. I mean, it's money. But I think the time of just thinking about money, working hard and making your money, and I mean, uh, it just seems like it needs to be gone. I mean, this whole capitalistic stuff, it's just, I mean, I'm not really a fan of capitalism. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people who like Crass probably don't really care for capitalism. So yeah, it's just, I mean, the way that everything is right now, it is really infuriating. But again, I'm not saying to go out and do like a rally or something, and like some kind of anti-mask rally or some kind of lockdown rally like I've seen. I don't agree with that. So yeah, that's just what comes to mind. But anyway, it goes on here. The same effing lies with the present frequency. They say we had to do it to keep our lives clean. Whose life? Whose effing life? Who the F are they talking to? Whose life? Whose effing life? I tell you one thing, it ain't me and you. So yeah, again with how Hiroshima, it says here, and just you think about other tragic events that have happened, and then of course it's just like, well, we had to do this because we want to keep your life clean, and it does make me think about a song by Marilyn Manson. I know it's a great time to talk about Marilyn Manson here. But he had a song, "Killing Strangers," from one of his recent albums. But it's one of my favorite Manson songs, honestly. And it's just, he says we're killing strangers so we don't kill the ones that we love. And I just think about, war and just so many atrocities across the world, and that we do, that the government, does whatever that, we want to fend off some people, we want to defend our land. I mean, if you want to get down to it, I mean, it's not really even, I mean, where I live, this isn't actually, Canada's land. It's, if you want to talk about it, it's Indigenous land. But anyway, yeah, it's just so much stuff gone into this, just to the point where it doesn't make sense to me, and for a lot of people. And yeah, it's just, a little philosophical here. But anyway, yeah, it's dumb. I think it's all dumb. It's all dumb. It goes on, effed up reality based on fear. F and conspiracy just stop you feeling real. I like that. They ain't got me. I say they're effing wrong. I ain't quite ready with my gun, but I've got my song. And I like that as well. And it says here that Crass are pacifists. That's nice. And are not willing to shoot and kill to stop the system. Instead, they rely on their message via music. Which is really nice. Again, I'm not really into guns at all. I don't like guns, but yeah, because I don't know. I'm not about that life, I guess. But I like how they say, but I've got my song, and obviously the song has lived on for over 40 years now. And I'm listening to it now, and I guess people who are watching this are watching me listen to it. So just quite the song here. And I like how they end up banned from the Roxy, okay, and never much like playing there anyway. And then guns. I don't know why it says guns at the end. That kind of puzzled me actually when I heard it earlier. But yeah, guns. So yeah, I like the ending, how they said during the intro, and then they end on that as well. But anyway, I think this video is too long now. I mean, the song was only 2 minutes long, and I've talked for so long now. But anyway, I want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Really appreciate all of the support. And again, another Crass classic here that I really like. So yeah, thanks for watching again. And I will talk to you guys again soon.